opinion and gives an opinion to the client. Can you imagine if technology is able to bring down that opinion to the ground and say there is no opinion, there is only something right or wrong, because that's what the government is expecting, right? Then how is it different from your work and how is it different from any large firm's work? There is no difference. So actually, I may be wrong, completely wrong, but there's no reason to think otherwise. But it could be possible that with the advent of technology and you're understanding it better, it's a big circle, right? It started with small firms, went on to big one, scaling up, has its own problem. It may come back to the smaller ones. I don't know whether individual ones, I don't know, maybe 5 people once or maybe 10 people once. But there is every likelihood, if technology were to play and you were to buy the same tool that maybe for a big 4 buys or anybody else buys, how is your opinion going to be different? So I think it's possible that the smaller firms would actually be doing a fantastic job, my view of this. Yes, please. Yeah. Of course. No, why do you need to even punch in the transaction? Even today you can do this here. The bank statements automatically come in. You know what we are developing? I said robo auditors. I'm saying the most difficult part is to read text. Numbers are not difficult. Text is the most difficult part to read, right? If I were to give you an audit of doing a review of legal process in an organization, and if it's a large company, which is a $20 billion company, and you're supposed to go through all the legal documents and come back and say, is your legal process right? How are you going to do this? Very difficult for you to do this, right? I just scan all of those documents, OCR it, and I have got the tags up and running to come back and say that 25% of your documents don't have these clauses, 30% of the documents don't have SLA, 50% of the documents there is a unlimited liability clause, right? So what you're saying is the simplest form. What I'm saying, there is a capability which can even do all of this put together. Yeah. And again, if you do Google, you'll probably hear about it. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, please. As long as Prakashi says I'm standing here, yeah. Well, that's an interesting story. So the use cases of blockchain currently are limited. Again, I would impress upon you to go to Economic Forum, right? And they are running a nice project, which technologies are likely to change the future of businesses and different businesses. And the number of use cases of the blockchain currently are said to be limited. A blockchain objectively does what? It does is, you cannot go and change something. That is what it does, objectively. So you'll have smarter transactions, you will have property transactions run onto blockchain databases. But as chartered accountants, do you have too many things to do around blockchain? I think you will have more work on the robotics process automation side rather than blockchain side at this point in time, my understanding. Yes, please. I don't know if you've got this, but when everything is driven and automation becomes big, one entry, one impact item actually can make or break a company a lot of times. So as there is rapid advancement on one side, there can be rapid destruction on the other side. And that is where the auditing is likely to completely change. You would use a lot of tools and techniques and analytics to figure out on a larger perspective, is that right, wrong? Implementations have been done right. Algorithms are right, for example. How do you test an algorithm? Testing an algorithm is an interesting example. You don't have to be an engineer. Output is important. So it doesn't matter if you get into a new company for the first time. What is the test that you run today? You go and understand the business, you go and understand the chart of accounts, you go and understand who's doing the entry, how somebody's doing. You do the same thing. The concepts don't change. The only difference is how many bots have you implemented? And people have already started to ask these questions. How many bots have you implemented? How many algorithms are you using? Then you will take a list of all the algorithms and list of all the bots. Then you'll say, how many functions have been automated? You'll take a list of all the functions that have been automated. Then you'll put on the right hand side, what is the likelihood of one bot going wrong? Everything that you've learned continues to fundamentally remain the same thing. That's a great part about chartered accountancy. No, algorithms keep changing on a daily basis, softwares change on a daily basis, there is a change request which comes in, there's algorithms which get tweaked on a daily basis, you've got billions of work here. I'm saying this industry, what I'm showing to you, forget about chartered accountancy, just testing an algorithm on a continuous basis is worth billions here. You just need to understand the business that you're trying to look at it here. Billions. There's another one interestingly, by the way. You have GDPR. Have you heard of GDPR? GDPR, this is data protection. India, GDPR, by the way, is worth billions of worth of opportunity for professionals like you and me, internationally. Now you have the Data Privacy Act in India which has come out. That is again worth of billions and billions of dollars worth of opportunity for people like you and me again. The problem is, we don't read it, we don't understand it, we don't go to anybody with that presentation because we're busy in what we're doing. And sometimes, of course, giving galis to the institute also. So which all works beautifully, but that's where we are. But I'm saying there's no right or wrong. What I'm trying to say is there's no right or wrong. Of course, we need to do a lot of things on our side. But what I'm saying is, eventually, you also need to just stand up to yourself and figure out what you can do and what you can't do. Thank you. Yep. Again, you understand what the data means. By the way, wars are going to be fought on data. So if a chartered accountant understands what the data really means for the company, you're one of the best guys. And by the way, I do cybersecurity. So just as an example, I do cybersecurity all the way from Japan to US. So I'm a chartered accountant. I'm not a technologist. And I understand data. I understand importance. I understand how systems talk to each other. And what is the eventual output and what is the eventual business. I'm able to talk a little better than an engineer is able to talk. So again, we're much better off. Much, much better off. Well, I must thank you again. I think people would get restless, and I think we had a wonderful day today. I'm sure you have enjoyed yourself, and I'm always available as a member of the institute. You can always reach out to me. But it's been fantastic to come here in Jaipur, and thank you for inviting us, Prakash ji, Pramod ji, I think, including Satish ji, I think in absentia. It's a great, great conference that you have run. Thank you once again.
Wow. Sir, your aura has definitely lent a unique charm to this conference. Thank you for making us reimagine the future world. Your enlightening words will surely help us redefine our strategies to cope up in this hyper-converged world of technology. We are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and immensely benefited by your thought-provoking ideas.
On this note, we finally conclude the day one of this memorable and knowledgeable event, PRAKARSH. We literally flew through the turbulence of knowledge. I extend my deep gratitude to our esteemed speakers who took out the time from their busy schedules and showered us with their pearls of wisdom and knowledge. I am also extremely thankful to all our sponsors. I also express my sincere thanks to the organizing committee who has made this conference happen. I am highly grateful for all the efforts made by CA Prakash Sharma for organizing this event and bringing us all together on such a great platform. A special recognition to all the delegates and friends for patient listening. Thank you all for cooperating with us.
Friends, please note we shall all gather tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. for breakfast, followed by the fourth technical session, which shall commence from sharp 10 p.m. Just like today, we would be committed to the time schedule, for which your cooperation is highly solicited. Also note, the musical night tomorrow at East Lawn Entertainment Paradise near Jawahar Circle, Jaipur starts at 8 p.m. Followed by our delicious dinner. We will have with us sensational singers Mohit Gaur and Divya Bhatt to rock your new year. So with this, I, CA Abhishek Pandya.
And I, CA Shivangi Samdhani, sign off. Thank you.
Thank you.